Hey, sports fans, PB&Z Sports Chaos. Guess what? We got a special edition for you this week because when the Brady news came out, TB12 unretired, we had to come back and talk to you fans and give you our thoughts on this. Because when I heard this, first of all, I thought, wow, he's a little bit of an attention hog. It was on, the March Madness unveiling show, right? And it was literally during the ceremony for KG, Kevin Garnett's number being retired at the Garden. I had that in one TV. I had the March Madness show on the other one. And all of a sudden, I seen the little red print. Tom Brady is coming back. And I'm like, why? And then Reese Davis comes on the screen and goes, all right, we have just confirmed this is not bogus. He's coming back. And I'm like, whoa. And PB, then you sent me a text and we got to talk about this. So here we are. What do you think?
Yeah, I was surprised. I mean, Brady to me has always been kind of a man with conviction, right? When he makes his decisions, pretty decisive. And I just thought he reached that point. And his, what was it, an 8 or 9 page Instagram post that he had was very well.
One of the things that's interesting about that, and you hear a number of people talk about this, the one word you do not see in that entire post or ever since is, I retired.
Very true. Very true. But at the same time, it was very well thought out. Brother, you drinking some whiskey with me tonight? Didn't even plan it.
Ready for St. Patrick's Day.
All right, there we go. There we go. It was well thought out, and it took time to do it and made the statement. The timing of it was perfect, and you just thought this was it, and yeah, so I thought that he was retired for good, and he talked about his family, he talked about his kids, he talked about his wife and how important all of them are and the support that they've given him to this point, and he just looked like he wanted to turn a new page in his life. So I really thought that this was it.
So let me give you a point on this. Here's my thoughts, right? One, he never said he retired. I don't think he was really convinced or convicted that he was retired. Two, I think that Aaron, believe it or not, him and Aaron Rodgers are not really great pals, right? Not like him and Peyton were. They get along good as rivals. I think at the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers, shenanigans around, am I coming back? Am I not going to come back? Am I going to play for Green Bay? Blah, 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 whatever. And putting his name in the news for now 2 freaking years. And we talked about it on our show a number of times. And the fact that he got his 4th MVP, I think that got under Brady's skin a little bit. In his mind, he's like, this guy has 1 goddamn Super Bowl. I got 7. Now he's got his 4th MVP, and he's behind me in every single category, including Super Bowls by a million miles. And I think he just thought, I can't go off this way. I can't let Aaron freaking Rodgers rule the day. I think that's my opinion. I think it's about Rodgers at the end of the day.
Wow, that would be interesting if that got under his skin to the point where he said, I have to come out of retirement. But either way,
PB, if you're a competitor, look, it's like Bryson DeChambeau and the other golfer there. What's his name? The guy he's always fighting with, right? So at the end of the day, if you're supposed to be the best in the game, and this other clown who's very good, Rodgers is great, I get it, but he doesn't have the titles that Brady has. Quite frankly, I think he could have more if he wasn't selfish. So Brady said, you know what? I got to prove something. And by the way, what does he prove again? He takes less salary than Rodgers, who signed a $150 million contract today for 3 years. Yes, I know it only counts $26 million against the salary cap because he's got 2 void years, which means now at the end of year 3, Green Bay has a $75 million salary cap hit. Good luck to you, Green Bay, if you don't win a championship in the next 3 years, right?
Yeah, next couple of years. Otherwise, they're going to be definitely in rebuilding mode with that hit. But that was the other point of the story. I think the timing of Brady is perfect. I think Brady is trying to give Tampa Bay the tools to build or continue to sustain what he has in terms of the offensive weapons that are in place to keep the defense intact. I mean, it's a Super Bowl team waiting to happen. So, yeah. And meanwhile, Rodgers, what he did and signing a $150 million contract over 3 years, are they even going to be able to sign Devontae Adams at this point? right?
Well, they got him franchised, right? So he's obviously they got to do something. They got to finagle some money. Like I said, though, his money only counts 26 against the cap because they can move his bonus money out for 6 years.
Right.
Or
So
5 years,
you,
I'm sorry.
but to your point, they need to win in the next couple years. And if
Oh,
they
yeah,
don't,
they're going to pay the piper. Peter's going to pay the
Right.
piper eventually when Rogers' number comes due. So,
yeah, it's a tough
hey,
situation.
Tampa Bay, though, PB, I'm a little worried. So they lost both their starting guards, right? They did get Shaq Mason. TB12 knows Shaq from his Pats days. He was here at the end of the time. Shaq Mason's a decent player. I know he had a tough year for New England this year, but he's a decent player. He should make up one of those two guard positions. They can make up the other one, definitely. Ryan Jensen resigned. I suppose he took a hometown discount when he heard Tom was coming back. That's good news. They got their 2 tackles as long as Wirfs is healthy. That's good news. They got to show up that defense a little more because the defense was a sore spot at the end of the year with all those injuries, right? Carlton Davis is back. They still need to have Sue and JPP resign. Hopefully they take a hometown discount as well. And no running backs are on the books right now.
Right. Fournette's a free agent, isn't he?
All of them. James, Rojo is, as well as Giovanni's a free agent as well. So they're going to get 2 of those guys back.
Right. But they did slap the franchise tag on Godwin.
Yes.
They also made a deal today for Russell Gage. So that
Did they really?
Yeah, they made a deal.
I didn't see it. All right, there you go.
Yeah, so that helps.
I'm secretly hoping they still need Brady's go-to as a slot receiver who can run that in and out route, right? And that's Julian Edelman. Gage may be able to fit that. I don't know, but that's the void right now. I still think Jules, he's retired. He took 1 year off in the Pats. I think he's free and clear of his commitment to the Pats because that 1 year, who knows?
Yeah. Well, the other guy that impressed me a little bit this year, I know he had a couple catches in that last game against the Rams, a couple big catches actually, was Tyler Johnson.
Yes.
I think if they work with him and he gets some more work with Brady, he could be that 3rd or 4th receiver. He could be a guy who runs those quick routes. That seemed to be what he was doing in the playoffs. Yeah.
So they have to definitely show up the defense a little bit because that's why they were behind 27-3. The offensive line definitely had issues. That's why Brady's pressure was in his face the whole first 3 quarters of that game against the Rams, right? They got to shore that up. If they can do that, plus, let's think about the NFC for a moment. Who is there? Green Bay is going to be back, but they're going to be a little bit weak because of the contract for Rodgers. They're going to suffer some casualties there. The Rams are the defending champions, but they're going to suffer a couple casualties as well. And by the way, you mentioned Gage. OBJ has always said he wants to play with Brady. He's a free agent. I don't know. We'll see. But the Rams got some turnover a little bit. The only other 2 teams are San Fran and Dallas, who's suffering some turnover right now as well because of Dak's contract. So the NFC is very weak at this point in time. The NFC South, by the way, that's probably why you see right now the interesting news today, Deshaun Watson. Who are the 3 biggest suitors? The Panthers, the Saints, and now the Falcons. The whole NFC South is going after Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, because they know they got to compete with the Bucs and Brady. I mean, they should be, but with Watson, none of those 3 teams are touching the Bucs next year.
No, they don't. Happen. I mean, the Saints are never going to because the way they have such a huge salary cap problem. That's why Peyton left. He can't $71 million in a hole. I can't make that up.
Yeah. Plus Armstead's probably out of there.
Yeah. Hey, so all right. So the NFC right now. Give me your rankings as it stands right now. Who are the 3 favorites in the NFC?
I think with this obviously news with Brady on retiring puts Tampa Bay right back to number 1 again.
Okay.
We know how hard it is to repeat in this league. So the Rams, as good as they were, you got to put them up there. But it's Rams probably 2 at this point. And then I'd go Dallas 3. I think Dallas is more talented than Green Bay. It's just if they can bring everything together that they need to. And then,
as a Cowboy fan, I would love to agree with you, but no, I got to give it to Green Bay. I think the Cowboys still have too many holes in them with the people they're losing. You know what? Cowboys are behind San Fran right now, in my opinion.
Wow. Okay. And then I would say Green Bay for me is 4, and then San Fran would be 5. That's
so there you go.
And the only reason why I have San Fran at 5 is because their quarterback situation, right? You got Garoppolo probably heading out of there, and you also have Lance, who really hasn't played much, and what is he really made of? But that's why I have them down there, because you clearly need an established quarterback in this league to get to the show.
On the flip side, the AFC, I mean, first of all, everybody thought with the big trade, Russ Wilson going to Denver, but all of a sudden, LA Chargers just signed 2 unbelievable signings. Khalil Mack, outside linebacker for a pass rush, JC Jackson on the back end, defensive back. The Chargers, right now, Denver has not overtaken the Chargers. Do you agree?
I agree. Yeah, Russell Wilson does not just instantly make that team. Russell Wilson's not Tom Brady. He's not Aaron Rodgers. You know,
I mean, he's a very good quarterback, but he's the second tier of the elite quarterbacks, right?
Yeah. Well, plus he always had really, really good receivers to throw to in Seattle. We haven't. I mean, we know Tim Patrick is talented. We know Jerry Jeudy's talented. They got some young kids there that could, but we haven't seen it. Right? It's not like he's going into a situation where all of a sudden he's got, you know, Mike Evans to throw to or someone like that. So no, I don't put Denver ahead of, I don't put them ahead of Kansas City or ahead of the Chargers, but the Chargers.
I think they're third. And by the way, the team that was in second was the Raiders. So that means the Broncos are battling the Raiders to third place, in my opinion.
Yeah, pretty much. I think the Chargers have a good shot at winning that division over Kansas City next year.
With those 2 signings, definitely, without a doubt. Let's see what they do in the, their free agency and, of course, the draft. We'll see. And by the way, so let's go to Cincinnati, who was in the Super Bowl. They got Tampa Bay's guard, right? The one that didn't retire, right? He's coming now to Cincinnati, and they signed another guy. I think it was from the Bills, if I'm not mistaken. So they're already doing what Kansas City took care of last year after their Super Bowl debacle. They're filling the void of their offensive line. So Cincinnati's going to be back in the mix. So AFC is a tough place to play at this point in time. Obviously, Brady has a much easier shot in the NFC, right?
Agreed. And we probably didn't even mention the best team in the AFC, which is probably the Buffalo Bills. So, add them into that mix of the whole thing. And Baltimore, with all their injuries last year, they're going to be coming back this year. So, I mean, there's just so many strong teams. There's 6 or 7 teams right now in the AFC that either one of them could end up in the Super Bowl.
Hey, I got a wild card for you, PB. The Pittsburgh Steelers of Mitchell Trubisky. I still think Mitchell Trubisky's got some talent when you got players around him. The Bears didn't use him right. Obviously, they had a horrible coach. He might have a rebirth in Pittsburgh. He's got good coaching. Mike Tomlin's a great freaking coach. That staff is loaded with great coaching under the Tomlin tree. Mitch Trubisky could be the comeback player of the year, right?
Yeah, I do. I like him a lot too, and I think he could make a difference in Pittsburgh. And
and by the way, the Browns, who we talked about this time last year as a potential Super Bowl favorite, maybe last place in that division, right?
Yeah, they should be in last place. They should be. I mean, the only thing that the Browns got going for them is their running game. That tandem of Hunt and Chubb is great running game. But I like Najee Harris. I thought Najee Harris had a great rookie year for Pittsburgh. Deontay Johnson's looking really good and getting better at receiver. We know their defense is
Chase Claypool. They got good, decent receivers. They've always had decent receivers. They find them somewhere. I don't know where they find them, but they always find them, right?
Yeah.
Their problem is offensive line.
I think Cleveland right now.
Yeah. We shall see. All right.
But I'd put Cleveland as the.
So let's see what happens. The rest of the free agents. By the way, free agency really hasn't started till tomorrow at 4:00, right?
I know, right?
I mean, we're in what do they call it now? The legal tampering period. Correct?
Yeah.
So all right.
We'll see. Lots of moving and shaking, and good material for future shows for sure.
All right, PB. Listen, let's talk. Hey, fans, go on to our PB&Z ballot there. Do our March Madness. We got some. I don't have any with me, but we get some barware. The winner is going to get one of our shot glasses and or mug. You tell us what you want. Label PB&Z Sports Chaos. If you can beat one of us experts, we'll see. Let's talk. Maybe we'll talk Saturday morning after the first round is complete. How's that sound?
Yeah, it sounds like a great.
And then the
next
free agency period by that point in time will have already really materialized too on the NFL side, right?
You got it. You got it.
All right, man. All right, fans. We'll talk to you soon. PB&Z Sports Chaos. Have a good one. Super Bowl.